welcome back to my channel. It's your girl DK and I'm back with another freaking video. I am currently about to read. I haven't read in a little minute on the channel, you know. But I'm reading. So I'm gonna go over what I'm reading. Don't mind my living room, y'all, because I have tools back there. And I just got a whole bunch of Amazon packages, so we just gonna yeah. Y'all can't even see it no more, but yeah. But so I'm reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm reading this book because somebody had told me about it. My cousin dad. Really? Well, I have been heard about it, but somebody had told me about it. It was like, it's really a good book. It teaches you about money. It teaches you about money management. It teaches you real life lessons all at the same time. And so far, I have read it in chapter 1 is so long, so I'm still on chapter 1. I'm on page 31 though. So I'm gonna read like 10 minutes of it, like out loud, and then I'll probably read a little bit more. And then I'm gonna come back and tell y'all like three takeaways that I took from it or whatever. Because we all could benefit from reading, you know. And reading helps you expand your vocabulary. It also expands your knowledge. So find you some books you like to read. Me personally, I like reading self-help books or books that teach me things. That's business wise, self wise, or things that could just better my life in general. So let's get into the video. Give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, let's go. Don't blame me from your problems, Rich Dad said, growing impatient, but you only paid me 10 cents. So what are you learning? Rich Dad asked, smiling. That you're cheap, I said with a sly grin. See, you think I'm the problem, said Rich Dad, but you are. Well, keep that attitude and you'll learn nothing. Keep the attitude that I'm the problem, and what choices do you have? Well, if you don't pay me more or show me more respect and teach me, I'll quit. Well put, Rich Dad said, and that's exactly what most people do. They quit and go looking for another job or a better opportunity and higher pay, actually thinking that this will solve the problem. In most cases, it won't. So what should I do? I asked. Just take this measly 10 cents an hour and smile. Rich Dad smiled. That's what the other people do, but that's all they do, waiting for a raise, thinking that more money will solve their problems. Most just accept it, and some take a second job working harder, but again, accepting a small paycheck. I sat staring at the floor, beginning to understand the lesson Rich Dad was presenting. I could sense it was a taste of life. Finally, I looked up and asked, so what will solve the problem? This, he said, leaning forward in his chair and tapping me gently on the head. This stuff between your ears. It was at the moment that Rich Dad shared the pivotal point of view that separated him from his employees and my poor dad and led him to eventually become one of the richest men in Hawaii. Wow, my highly educated but poor dad struggled financially all his life. It was a singular point of view that made all the difference over a lifetime. Rich Dad explained this point of view over and over, which I call lesson number 1. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. I said that. I said that before, but let's pick that. On that bright Saturday morning, I learned a completely different point of view from what I had been taught by my poor dad. At the age of 9, I understood that both dads wanted me to learn. Both dads encouraged me to study, but not the same things. My highly educated dad recommended that I do what he did. Son, I want you to study hard, get good grades, so you can find a safe, secure job with a big company and make sure it has excellent benefits. My rich dad wanted me to learn how money works so I could make it work for me. These lessons I would learn through life with his guidance, not because of a classroom. My rich dad continued my first lesson. I'm glad you got angry about working for 10 cents an hour. If you hadn't got angry and had simply accepted it, I would have to tell you that I could not teach you. You see, true learning takes energy, passion, and a burning desire. Anger is a big part of that formula. For passion is anger and love combined. When it comes to money, most people want to play it safe and feel secure. So passion does not direct them. Fear does. Oh yeah. Hold on. Anger. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. So is that why they'll take jobs with low pay? I asked. Yes, said Rich Dad. Some people say I exploit people because I don't pay as much as the sugar plantation or the government. I say the people exploit themselves. It's their fear, not mine. But don't you feel you should pay them more? I asked. I don't have to. And besides, more money will not solve their problems. Just look at your dad. He makes a lot of money and he still can't pay his bills. Most people giving more money only get into more debt. So that's why the 10 cents an hour I said smiling is a part of the lesson. That's right, smile rich dad. You see, your dad went to school and got an excellent education so he could get a high paying job. But he still has money problems because he never learned anything about money in school. On top of that, he believes in working for money. And you don't? I asked. No, not really, said rich dad. If you want to learn to work for money, then stay in school. That is a great place to learn to do that. But if you want to learn how to have money work for you, then I will teach you that. But only if you want to learn. Wouldn't everyone want to learn that? I asked. No, said Rich Dad. Simply because it's easier to learn to work for money, especially if fear is your primary emotion when the subject of money is discussed. I don't understand, I said with a frown. Don't worry about that for now. Just know that it's fear that keeps most people working at a job. The fear of not paying their bills, the fear of being fired, the fear of not having enough money, and the fear of starting over. That's the price of studying to learn a profession or trade and then working for money. Most people become a slave to money and then get angry at their boss. So in this little part right here, I got little things. So this one says timeless rich dad wisdom. Assets over income. Assets over income. Buying or building assets that deliver cash flow is putting your money to work for you. High paying job means two things. You're working for money and the taxes you pay will probably increase. I've learned to put my money to work for me and enjoy the tax benefits of generating income that doesn't come from a paycheck. This one says, question still persists. Go to school. While I am a huge supporter of education and lifelong learning, going to school, especially college, has become a financial nightmare. Student loan debt is at another record high with 44.7 million Americans owing nearly 1.71 trillion. Again, that's trillion with a T. Learning to have money work for you is completely different course of study. I asked. Absolutely, Rich Dad answered. Absolutely. We sat in silence on that beautiful Hawaiian Saturday morning. My friends had just started their Little League baseball game, but for some reason, I was now thankful I had decided to work for 10 cents an hour. I sensed that I was about to learn something my friends would learn in school. Ready to learn? Asked Rich Dad. Absolutely, I said with a grin. I have kept up my promise. I've been teaching you from afar, my Rich Dad said. At 9 years old, you've gotten a taste of what it feels like to work for money. Just multiply your last month by 50 years and you will have an idea of what most people spend their life doing. I don't understand, I said. How did you feel waiting in line to see me? Once to get hired and once to ask for money. Terrible, I said. If you choose to work for money, that is what life will be like, said Rich Dad. And how did you feel when Miss Martin dropped them $3 in your hand for 3 hours of work? I felt like it wasn't enough. It seemed like nothing. I was disappointed, I said, and that is how most employees feel when they look at their paycheck, especially after all the tax and other deductions are taken out. At least you got 100%. You mean most workers don't get paid everything? I asked with amazement. Heavens no, said Rich Dad. The government always takes its share first. How do they do that? I asked. Taxes, said Rich Dad. You're taxed when you earn. You're taxed when you spend. You're taxed when you save. You're taxed when you die. Why do people let the government do that to them? The rich don't, said Rich Dad with a smile. The poor and the middle class do. I'll bet you that I earn more money I earn more than your dad, yet he paid more in taxes. How can that be? I asked at my age. That made no sense to me. Why would someone let the government do that to them? Rich Dad rocked slowly and silently in his chair, just looking at me. Ready to learn? He asked. I nodded my head slowly. As I said, there's a lot to learn. Learning how to have money work for you is a lifetime study. Most people go to college for 4 years and their education ends. I already know that my study of money will continue over my lifetime simply because the more I find out, the more I find out. Oh, the more I find out, the more I find out I need to know. Most people never study the subject. They go to work, get their paychecks, balance their checkbooks, and they sit. Then they wonder why they have money problems. They think that more money will solve the problem and don't realize that it's their lack of financial education that is the problem. So my dad has tax problems because he doesn't understand money. I asked confused. Look, said Rich Dad, taxes are just one small section on learning how to have money work for you. Today I just wanted to find out if you still have a passion to learn about money. Most people don't. This little box right here says taxes, taxes, taxes. A governments expand and need more and more money. The only place to get it is the middle class. That means the workers. Every government now favors the professional investor and the business owners. Workers pay tax. Investors and business owners pay very little tax. If they use the tax law as intended as a tool to build the economy, they want to go to school, learn a profession, have fun at their work, and earn lots of money. One day they wake up with big money problems. Then they can't stop working. That's the price of only knowing how to work for money instead of studying how to have money work for you. So, do you still have the passion to learn? Asked Rich Dad. I nodded my head. Good, Rich Dad said. Good, said Rich Dad. Now get back to work. This time I will pay you nothing. What? I asked, in amazement. You heard me. Nothing. You work the same 3 hours every Saturday, but this time you will not be paid 10 cents per hour. You said you wanted to learn to not work for money, so I'm not going to pay you anything. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I've already had this conversation with Mike, and he's already working this and stacking canned goods for free. You better hurry and get back there. That's not fair. I shouted, you got to pay something. You said you want to learn. If you don't learn this now, you'll grow up to be like the two women and the older man sitting in my living room, working for money and hoping I don't fire them. Or like your dad, earning lots of money only to be in debt up to his eyeballs, hoping more money will solve the problem. If that's what you want, I'll go back to our original deal of 10 cents per hour. Or you can do what most adults do, complain that there's not enough pay, quit, and go look for another job. But what do? I asked. Rich Dad tapped me on my head. Use this, he said. If you use it well, you will soon thank me for giving you an opportunity, and you will grow into a rich man. I stood there, still not believing what a raw deal I was handed. I came to ask for a raise, and somehow I was instead working for nothing. Rich Dad tapped me on the head again and said, use this. Now get out of here and get back to work. Okay, y'all, so let me tell y'all what I learned. So far, I learned that I done read 10 pages, right? So I'm going to go back. So I started on page 31. So I highlighted, I'm going to tell y'all what I highlighted. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. Everybody know. The rich people have businesses. Most people that are rich have businesses or are entrepreneurs. Okay. Buying or building assets that deliver cash flow is putting money to work for you. Okay. Like I said, businesses or entrepreneurs. Okay. I also highlighted anger is a big part of that formula. For passion is anger and love combined. When it comes to money, most people want to play it safe and feel secure, so passion does not direct them. Fear does. So most people are scared to lose their money or have the fear of not being able to provide or pay their bills instead of putting their money to work for them. And then this last little part that I highlighted, it's one more after this. Most people have a price, and they have a price because of human emotions named fear and greed. First, the fear of being without money motivates us to work hard, and then once we get up that paycheck, greed or desire starts us to think about all the wonderful things money can buy. The pattern is then set. The pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills. People's lives are forever controlled by two emotions, fear and greed. Offer them more money and they continue to cycle by increasing their spending. This is what I call a rat race, which is so true. Because if you work and say, okay, you have the thought like, okay, I don't want to go back to work. Like, I'm not working for this no more. And then you go to work the next day and they be like, okay, you can get a pay increase. Or we'll let you work longer hours or something of that nature. You back you know, you back in the motion of like work, you know? So you're still gonna work and still you're gonna be back doing what you was doing at first if they give you a pay raise. And then I also highlighted, let me explain the other emotion, desire. Some call it greed, but I prefer desire. It's perfectly normal to desire something prettier, better, more fun, or exciting. So people ask for money because of desire. They desire money for the joy they think it can buy. Keyword, think it can buy. Because all money does not make you happy. Like, if you're not happy with what you're doing or who you are or anything of that sort, you're not going to be happy. And most people love money because they think, oh, once I pay this bill or once I get this or once I get that, I will be better or I will feel better. Or because I've been like that before, but I have learned, well, I have God, so I don't really stress about anything anymore. I just let stuff play out how it play out. And I had to learn that because once upon a time I did not. I was stressing so bad. But now it's like I just let everything play out how it's gonna play out. And I don't stress about anything. So yeah, that's what I learned from my book today. And I hope y'all learned something too. And we'll come back probably sometime later on this week or next week with some more lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. See y'all in my next video. Bye.